Hey, good morning. Greg Flanagan here. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty, which we're working through right now. Give me 1 second and we'll get you up and going. Okay. I don't know where Nathana went. She's not here. I had to change computers at the last minute. I apologize. Today, welcome. It's Friday. I'm Greg Flanagan, and this is Fridays with Flanagan. You may or may not hear me. Please do me a favor. If you can hear me, go over to the comments and just let me know you can hear me. Just say, hey, I can hear you. Had a little trouble with audio, had to switch equipment. Somebody just go over to comments, say, Greg, we can hear you. Maybe nobody can hear me. Can you hear me? This is goofy. Thank you, Allison. I appreciate that. All right, so let's get going. You know, today is it's Friday, and every Friday with Flanagan, we come to you live at 11 o'clock with a topic that, you know, somewhere during the week I usually found somebody that's asked me this question, or it's just been sitting on my mind. You know, it's a balmy day here in Charleston, South Carolina. We woke up to about 55-degree weather, and right now it's about 60 degrees. Yesterday it was about 38 degrees, so we are very blessed. If there's anything you need during our show today, just drop it into the comments, and Nathaniel will pick it up and let me know about it. If you're looking for any extra resources, you can go to poweronward.com and sign in there. We have a growing list of resources that you can get. I don't even know exactly. I know I gave them everything to put in there. We're getting it slowly but surely. So that's cool. What are we talking about today? We're talking about prospecting, something that everybody needs to do, but few people actually do it. And I'm came across this the other day. Somebody had asked me about this book, and I'm gonna ask you all, go out and get Fanatical Prospecting. It's a very easy read. You know, pages, words are big, very easy read, and it's you know, it's the basis of what we do as salespeople, and we are salespeople all day long and every day. We are salespeople. One of the most important things salespeople need to do is to maintain a healthy pipeline. What is a pipeline? If you're new to this business, you don't understand what a pipeline is, then you need to reach out and go a little bit deeper to find out what a pipeline is. It's pretty much everybody that you know and have talked to over the year is in this pipe, and it's coming down the pipe. And you have people at different sections. You know, to get really, really simplistic about this, you have different people at different sections of the pipe. You have people that will never talk to you. They're way at the other end of the pipe. Then you have people that are ready, willing, and able that want to buy a house in the next 30, 60, or 90 days. Those people are right at the end of the pipe, and they're ready to bust out of that funnel, right? The sales funnel. They're ready to bust out of this pipe, and just like oil gushes from the well, this is where you want a lot of people. And over this long pipeline, it's our job to move these people forward, okay? Move them forward down the pipeline. Now, if you only have one person in that pipeline, you know, they're just going to take a leisurely stroll down the pipeline. They're not going to be pushed out of the pipeline. The goal of every successful, professional salesperson, real estate agent, same word, is to fill that pipeline up with as much and as many prospects as you can find. Now, prospects come in all shapes, sizes. Some are not ready for 2 years. Some are not ready for 3 years. Some are ready today. They've all got to be in your funnel, and you've got to push that funnel like a big old plunger. You got to keep plunging that funnel until you push them out the other side. So that's what we're going to talk about today, the 4 objectives of prospecting. What do we need to do to successfully prospect? It's kind of funny because, you know, activity doesn't lead to, if you're just busy. I know there's a saying, you know me, I'm like Yogi Berra, right? I'm like Yogi Berra. I've got all the sayings in my head. They get a little confused. And I think Yogi said, what did Yogi say? Something about a goal. Anyway, I'll think of it by the end of the day. Anyway, you got four things you need to know about prospecting, and you've got to be very, very focused on these four things. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So the four objectives of prospecting. The first one is setting an appointment. You've got to realize that when you get on a phone or you're talking to somebody, you've got to know what you're looking for. Okay. Your objective. We're talking about objectives today. You've got goals. You always have to have a goal. If you don't have a goal, then you're just walking around not doing anything, just talking to people. Your goal is to, number one, set an appointment. Okay? Set an appointment. And that's a confirmed appointment. Not one of these, I'll stop by if I'm around town, or come on in, stop by and see if I'm here. I'll be in the office on Tuesday. Sure. Give me a call maybe on Thursday. That's not an appointment. That's not an appointment. Your objective is to get an appointment. What is an appointment? Confirmed on both your calendars, and you both know what you're going there for. It's not to say hello. Okay? It's to go there and set a meeting to buy or sell a house. That's an appointment. A lot of people take meetings, and meetings are great. And in real estate, we like meetings, right? We talk about having coffee and building relationships and everything else. Is it truly a sales appointment? I think you're going to find on and off, yes or no. Baseball is 90% mental. The other half is physical. Yes, definitely. That's a yogiism, isn't it? Okay. So when you're talking to somebody and you're on the phone or you're standing face to face, get that hard appointment, right? The appointment is, I'm coming to your house. We're going to talk about real estate. We're going to talk about whether you're going to buy or sell. You're coming to my office, and you know what? I'm going to confirm it on Thursday if it's a Friday appointment. Make it a hard appointment, right? I always confirm my appointments. Don't be afraid they're going to say no. It's a heck of a lot better than driving across town or waiting in an office and being embarrassed that nobody showed up. Okay? If they're not there in 5 minutes, I text them. They might have been in an accident, right? But I know that I confirmed it yesterday, so they will be coming. I might even confirm it that morning, depending on what the day looks like. So that's setting an appointment. Make sure you're focused, and your goal is to set an appointment. Number two, gather information and qualify the person. If you truly want to do this business, and the people that are most successful at this business are not afraid to ask the question, direct questions. Direct questions being, so let me ask you a question. Let's say we're with a buyer. I do what we call an LP mama, right? Where do you want to live? L. What price you want to pay? P. Motivation. Why are you moving? Tell me about that, and go deep with them. We just want to get a bigger house. What's making you get a bigger house? The kids are getting bigger. We want more room to play. Whatever that is, keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into that LP mama. So it's location, price, motivation, the why. Are you working with an agent? If you don't ask that question, you're going to wind up like so many new agents and so many, even, practicing agents, walking into a situation where you're downloading your entire self and they've already got somebody lined up. Mother, brother, sister, uncle, or an agent. We had it a few weeks ago where on our team where the agent, out of the blue came another agent. I mean, it was like these people were all set to go with us, and all of a sudden they disappeared. It's the last time that'll happen, but it's make sure you know if they have an agent or not. That's a direct question. Are you working with an agent at this time? No, we talked to somebody on the phone, Have you signed anything with an agent? No, we haven't. Great. I'll be over tomorrow afternoon at 4:00. Will you be there? Yes, I will. Okay. Mortgage. Now, here's the qualifier. And I've seen this happen so many times. And I can tell you what, I have been part of the other side of this also. I was sitting I used to work midnights back in another age, right? Back before dinosaurs. I was working midnights. I'd get up in the afternoon. I'd go down to the local coffee shop and have breakfast. And it was 2:00, 3:00 in the afternoon. And we'd watch Days of Our Lives, I think, right? Shooty there, wasn't married at the time. Hands up. And this guy comes in, this salesman. You could tell he was a salesman when he walked in the door. He had his sales portfolio with him. Sat down next to me. He was at a bar counter. And he starts talking about the smoke. Back then, you were allowed to smoke inside of places. And he downloaded everything he knew about this machine that he wanted to hook up to the ceiling. He's telling me all this. And he's asking me questions, and he's going down through. And I asked him questions. I played along. And I asked him a question. I said, well, would you install one for us as a try? Come in and put it in for a month and see if it works. Then we'll discuss it. And the guy never asked me to. Long story short, he came back a month later. I'm sitting in the same place, same time, having my breakfast. And he asked me, what do you think? I said, I don't think it's going to work. Well, he never put it up there. But he came back. The one question he never asked me, what was the one question he never asked me? Somebody, what do you think the one question he never asked me? I'll wait. Come on, somebody's got it out there. All right, too much dead silence. Are you the owner? Are you the decision maker? And this goes back to doing your LP Mama. You've got to qualify. You've got to gather the information and qualify the person. Let me ask you a question, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. Do you own this house? Yes, we do. Are you up to date on your mortgage? Yes, we are. Super, because when we do list your home, I'm going to need the mortgage statements and everything else just to make sure. Are you the decision maker? Thank you. Just to make sure that there's nobody else on the title. Is there anybody else that we need to talk to that is a decision maker for this home? No. Now, let me give you a quick, who would this actually pertain to? I have found over the years that the older generation, mom and dad in their 70s and 80s, living in the same house for 30 or 40 years, you've got to go and check and see if they have a trust fund. Because normally when you get to that age group, they're starting to, move stuff over to their kids so their kids can have that decision-making capability if they become incapacitated, which is fine. It's a smart move. You've got to know that before you spend the next 30 hours working on this person's house, only to have a 45-year-old guy come up to you and go, no, we're not doing that. Sorry, you've got to talk to me. I am the decision maker. So make sure that M is important. Mortgage, decision maker. Gather the information, qualify them well. I can't stress that. We're talking about objectives of getting a sale. Stay very, very focused on the sale. Be nice, be kind, use your IPC, use everything else you got in your toolkit, but stay focused. And the last one, of course, is setting the appointment. So you're on the phone, you're talking to somebody. The last thing you always want to do, when do you want to meet? How soon do you want to meet? Would you like to meet now, later, whatever your conversation is? I think that's a fairly easy type of thing. Is there anybody else, as you're making that, is there anybody else that we need to have there to help us make that decision, right? Qualify. If you're with a buyer, your qualifying is, I'll tell you what, my second question, ring, ring. Hi, this is Greg Flanagan, FlanaganHomeTeam.com. How can I help you? Well, I'm looking at 123 Main Street. Oh, fabulous. Let me get that up on the computer real quick. You're looking to move soon? Yeah, well, we're thinking in the next 30 days. Great. Are you going to be paying cash? No. We got to get financing. Okay. I mean, it's like the second or third question, and it's very easily said. Oh, super. So you're looking to pay cash? You want to be in 30 days? Nope. We got to get finance. Have you talked to a lender yet? We haven't. Okay, great. We can talk about that later. But I know now I've got to bring them through a lender, right? So that's the easy part about that. Any questions on that? Let me know. All right. Number 3, overcoming objections. I have got objections. You know, any kind of sales, whether it's real estate, cars, life insurance, people are going to ask you the same questions. The more you know the answers to those questions, the less it's going to trip you up and the better you're going to get at it. Practice your objections as much as you practice your scripts. You want to know what to say, but at the same time, you want to know how to answer them. And I think as you come down through it, close the sale is number 3. Thank you, Nathana. And this is part of it, knowing your objections. We've got a 25 killer objection handlers. If you want to put your email, send it over to Nathana, put it in the chat, drop me an email, a DM or whatever. We'll send it to you. And role playing and script practice with those objection handlers is real important. The better you know it, the easier it's going to get to make the appointment. So practice your objections as much as you handle as you do your scripts. Know your most common objections. One of the things that I've used over the years, if you're tripped up on something, stop. Seller says to me, Greg, we don't know if we're ready to sell. Well, you know what? That's why I called, or that's why I'm here. Those little words, that's why I'm here. That's why I called. That's why we're talking today, to figure out when you will be, to decide if you want to. Whatever their objection was, bring it in. Well, that's why I'm here, to discuss. That's why I'm here, to find out if you can. It brings them into you, and you're there to help them. Okay, the word help, of course, is always one of the best ones to do. Any questions on that? Get your objection handlers down well, and you'll be fine. The 4th one is build familiarity. Okay, so in the book, Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blount, it's got to be a staple on your bookshelf. Jeb is talking more about industrial sales or sales that close in the same day. When we talk about homes, what's that familiarity? That familiarity is about getting to know you, trust you, know, like, and trust you, right? Those are the 3 things that as a real estate agent, we want to make sure they do. They know, like, and trust you. This is not about long conversations. This is not about having to sit there for hours at a time. When I was a new salesperson, I was selling advertising years ago. Man, I would spend an hour and a half with a prospect, hoping he liked me. The prospect was probably thinking in his head, get the heck out of here. I don't want to talk to you anymore. So now I have a much shorter conversation with my prospects. Hi, I'm Greg Flanagan. I sell homes for a living. I'm looking to know if you're looking to buy or sell a home in the near future. It's a direct question. Get over yourself. Don't be bashful. You're a salesperson. This is what I want to do. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I've got a script on the side of my wall over here. It's for my sphere, right? Hi, Bob. How are you doing today? Great. Well, I called you a while back, and we were hoping to refer other people to each other. That's a script for your lenders, for your bankers, for your painters, for your plumbers. You've got to get used to asking very directly. There's a lot of high eyes out there, people that want to chat all day. You got to break out of that habit, because all it's doing is burning your time during the day, where you should be making more sales calls, talking to people that really want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. So make it very short, very, very sweet. Don't get into that habit of calling somebody up because it's a good way to avoid calling anybody else that really might want to buy or sell. Okay. It was yeah, it was like a light bulb went off one day. I said, "Stop talking." I forget who taught it to me. Might have been Brian Tracy back in the years. Brian was very straight up and forward, and he I guess he sold mutual bonds back then. If I could make you 14%, this was a spiel when he ran to somebody. If I could make you 14% on your money right now, would you sign with me? Yeah. And he'd actually take out his contract, shove it across the desk, go, here, sign. Of course, the person didn't have enough information, but that's how direct it got. Okay. So trim down your conversations, get familiar with the people. The more that they know you, the more that you reach out in emails and Facebook ads and, all this other stuff. They have to get to know you. They need that familiarity so that when the time comes, when they do get down the pipe, they say, I know Greg. I'm going to go with Greg. Or I know Allison. I know Bob, George, Bale, whoever. Let them in. Let them get to know you. Don't spend hours talking on the phone thinking they're going to buy, because guess what? Their mother, brother, uncle, or sister has a real estate license. And they just want to be kind. There's a lot of people out there that can't say no. And those are the people who are going to waste most of your time. Be nice. Don't, be nice. So where does that, I got a story up here, and I'm looking at my board because my other thing is dead. And that all goes back to having a CRM, right? If you're with Keller Williams, you got Command, you got Firepoint, you got eEdge, whatever you're using, Brivity, whatever you're using as a CRM is great as long as you use it. I can tell you stories that I've had people raise their hand I haven't heard from in 7 years. I did nothing more. I remember one in particular over in Mount Pleasant. This goes back to, if you're a local, when they were blowing up the bridge, right? The old bridge they were taking down. The head of the demolition division came to me, and he had to find a rental for one of his guys. I was pretty new back then. And I ran. I found this guy a rental. I don't know if I ever got him a rental. Either way, we developed, and we developed a relationship, and I put him into my CRM, touched him. 10, 11 years later, they raised their hand. They want to sell their house. I had all but forgotten about him. I think I sent him a Christmas card every year, but that was, that's where this pays off. Fill that pipeline up. If you plan on being here for a few years, fill it up. Okay. And eventually they will raise their hand. So that's the pipeline story for the day. Fill it up, right? We set an appointment, gather your info, qualify, overcome the objections, practice. They don't know that you know the answers to what they're asking you already, and that's important. They don't know that. You seem like a professional. You seem like a bright guy, by the girl, woman, whatever. And build familiarity. Know, like, and trust. That's what they're looking for. They want, hey, you know what? I know a guy. If you look at, I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. Right? I know a guy. So that's important. What else we got? Anybody got any questions? Questions? How big should your database be? Great question. I think the size of your database, and I'll tell you this, to make, depending on how many sales you want to make in a year, the database that you're talking to and that knows, likes, and trusts you, they know what you do. They watch you. They interact sometimes. You see them opening their mail, whatever. To be a millionaire real estate, they take 1,960 touches, right? To be a good real estate agent, 200, 300,000 a year, you only need about 110 to 150 people. And this goes back to, and I'm not an anthropologist or, one of those guys, but this goes back to the old theory about tribes. People lived in tribes of about 150 each. Everybody knew each other. They protected each other. This was there might be another tribe right next door, but this was your tribe. And that was important. So 150 people, that know, like, and trust you. If you're using Facebook, if you're using just people in your sphere, people you know, put 2,000 in there, because those 2,000 people will work their way into the circle or down through the pipeline eventually as they get closer to the buying experience. Once they have the buying experience, they're probably going to move back to the outer part of the circle or back down the pipeline. Okay. What are you going to do with them when they're out on the pipeline and out on the outside of the circle? Right. You're going to feed them stuff. That's going to be the once a month. Hey, here's our newsletter, the quarterly telephone call for the first couple of years. Bob, how you doing? How's the house? It's great. Maybe the call on the anniversary of the house. That's how you keep these people involved, and that's how you build your 150, whatever that number is. If you want a big business, you've got to have a bigger, obviously, sphere. But for solo agents, and that's what I focus on, solo agents, small teams, 1 or 2 agents, 150 per person is great. That's going to make you a couple $100,000 a year. Does that answer your question? Do you use the command to set up drip campaigns? Great information. Thank you for constantly flowing in and out of the circle. Yes, you're welcome. Do you use command to set up drip campaign to stay in touch over the year? Yes, the answer is yes. We are actually, now I've had a database. I've been with, years ago, I started with a Top Producer, which at that time was a Realtor.com database. I still have that database from years ago. I don't know why. It's comforting. It's like a blanket, right? I have used different databases throughout the years. Right now, I'm still in Firepoint. Firepoint's a paid database with a website that produces leads. You're going to pay for those leads. Don't get me wrong. It's not free, but right off the bat, I think it's probably $500 a month. So I made a commitment last year to start moving our database into Command, and Command works. You know what? I've been through a lot of databases that are brand new, and there's always going to be a problem. So forget about the naysayers. Use what you got to use, but Command works. I have started to migrate those what we call campaigns from Firepoint over to Smart Plans. They work. Some of them are very, very direct. If you haven't figured this out, I'm very direct. When I'm not going to take up a lot of time with the flowery stuff on your emails and that kind of, it's going to be short emails. If you're building a smart plan, short emails. Hey Bob, how you doing? Hey Bob, you ready to move forward? Hey Bob, did you see anything last week? Hey Bob, not how you. You can do that because high I's do. I'm not a high I, I'm a high D. As see right there on the wall, right there, that big red line. So I want to know the information real quick, and we're going to move forward. Not everybody likes to work with me. They don't have to, but the ones that do, they do. So to stay in touch over the year, 33 to 36 touch campaign. What are those campaigns? First 12. There you go. Our newsletter. Easy newsletter. Doesn't have to be brilliant. Put 3 houses, beautiful houses. People want to see houses. Put 3 houses, drop them in. Command has got the neighborhood drip. There's 12. That can be 12, 52, 26. People want to look at houses. They're not so much geared towards numbers. You got to find your number guys, your engineers, but most of the people like to look at houses. So send them houses, send them a little blurb. You don't have to be Einstein. You don't have to, figure out what the market's doing. There's a lot of people out there telling you, and here's the deal. Anybody giving you a prediction is crystal balling it, right? I mean, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Actually, that's one of my responses is that when they say, what's going to happen next year? I don't know. If I had a crystal ball, I'd be a millionaire, right? I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So that's why we need to do it today. All right. The whole thing could go down a hole next month. You never know. We've seen it with COVID. We've seen it with 9/11. We've seen it with 2008. Things stop all of a sudden. This is a great market we're in. But things stop all of a sudden. Bang. And my fear is the next big stop is you're not going to be able to buy leads anymore because some of these bigger companies are getting in the market and they're going to hire their own people like Redfin, right? They're allowing you to actually promote your property on their website, except you're not getting the leads. Their people are getting the leads. And their people will bring them to you, but their people are getting paid a basic salary, right? So if you want to be a salaried person again, go for it. All right, we're getting down to the half hour. Any other questions? I hope that helped. Any other questions? Give me a thumbs up if that was good. If I brought enough value for you today that you didn't waste your time, I would appreciate it. If you are looking to go deeper, we are beginning in March. We're going to begin the group coaching on poweronward.com, and it's going to be like $39 a month. And you're going to get some exclusive material outside of the free Fridays with Flanagan. If you're looking for individual coaching, happy to talk to you about that. And if you're looking for just consultation, a lot of people say, I'm not into the coaching bit, and I only need you for this. Let me know. I'll come in. I'll look at your process, and we'll discuss it there, and we'll go from there, okay? So have a great week. Remember your LP mama. I'm Greg Flanagan. Great. 3 thumbs. I love it. Keep them coming. All right. Anything I can do for you? Drop me an email, greg@poweronward.com. Have a great day, guys.